Today in this short video, I'm going to show you the easiest way to improve at golf. And it doesn't matter how old you are, how much experience you have, if you're a new golfer, or if you've played golf for a lot of years. I'm going to take you step by step through it here in this short video, and it's going to be very clear to you what you need to do and how you can improve starting today. First, do me a huge favor, click the black subscribe button below to subscribe here to my channel. Also click the bell to accept notifications as new videos are released. I'm going to be providing a lot of helpful content with the main goal of helping you improve your game as quickly as possible. And that's kind of what sets me apart from a lot of the other instructors, is that I'm trying to help you improve now. I have no doubt that if we follow the right steps, you will begin to improve immediately. And I totally disagree with the idea that we need to rebuild the swing from the ground up and start over. And in many cases for people, that adds to years and years of frustration and makes it really, really difficult to enjoy the game of golf. So we're going to talk about the simplest way to improve. So there's two main things that we have to understand in order to improve at golf, and that's mainly revolves around impact, which is obviously the most important point in any golf swing. And at impact, every golfer is going to have the club in this orientation with the arms. So the club really comes into a position where the wrists are in what's called ulnar deviation, but basically you can think of it as cocked and uncocked. The main issue is people are beginning, really when they're setting up, is they're taught to let the arms hang straight down from the shoulders and the club's out at an angle, which is putting the club in a position where the wrists are in a cocked position. You can see I could cock them a little bit more. Uncocked is here. The problem is that every golfer at impact is in the position where the wrists are uncocked. And it doesn't matter if it's a kid who's 5 years old or somebody who's 100 years old or anywhere in between, you're going to be there. So the main problem with that should be obvious, that if we're set up here and making impact there, you can see how the club head moves when I do that. And for a lot of people, when that club comes into alignment, it's also affecting the club face orientation. So the club face is having the effect of opening because of the orientation of the hands and arms to the club at setup versus impact. So in my method, setup for impact, we're really setting up in a position that makes it easier for us to make great impact. And so we're setting up with the wrists in that uncocked position, and we're also putting the trailing hand on the club in a non-rotational position, meaning that it's not going to have to rotate the club through impact in order to square up the club face. So the second point is simply that we have to learn to have the hands leading the club head through impact. So the hands must lead, the grip must lead the club head on all shots through impact. And what this does is it stabilizes the club face, keeping it square for this point of impact and beyond for a few inches, which is really, really critical, obviously. And it should be obvious to everyone. If we're going through like this, as most people are, where they're letting the club head pass the hands, and from my experience, it's over 95% of golfers are releasing the club early, so the club's in rotation, and that explains why you can hit a shot left and a shot right, top a shot, hit a shot fat, hit a shot thin, and 5 shots in a row. They're all different. And it's simply because the club face is in a lot of rotation, not to mention the other factors that the club, when we're doing this, the club goes down and bounces back up. So it's down and up, versus what the best players do with the grip leading is create a beautiful flat spot through impact, which makes it virtually impossible to hit fat or thin golf shots. So we really need that, as well as the hands leading produces a straight path through impact, and it's also what enables us to get contact in the middle of the club face. So if you put a club on a countertop and hold the club in alignment here like this, you'll see that the contact point is low on the club face. Tilt the grip forward and you'll see the center of the ball moves up to the center of the club face. And so that's really critical in making great contact, to have the hands leading so we can hit the center of the club face, less rotation, straight path. The other factor is with the hands leading and we're rotating with the body through impact, this is creating a whip-like action at the bottom, which is called parametric acceleration, and this is going to speed up the club without having to move faster. It's simply producing more speed with the same motion. When we put those two factors together, so we're going to learn to set up on our impact plane, and from there it's as simple as swinging back and through on one single plane. So the club, because we're set up already on the impact plane, I'm going to be making impact here on that same plane. So it's just going from here, and at impact I'm going to be here. So the difference is my body's a little bit more turned. And if you look at this very simply, if I set up and I turn, rotating, starting at the feet, legs, pelvis, upper torso, watch what happens to the grip. You see how it gets pushed forward. And so all I need to do in the swing is see that I get turned and I don't let the hands mess it up by flipping through impact. Then we're able to more easily create great golf shots. Now in my schools, I deal with this through a lot of simple, easy to follow drills, and we're generally working on impact with very short swings first and then working through longer swings. So I have schools coming up in Pennsylvania and Cincinnati later in the year, then again North Carolina and Florida. In the schools, we work on making this perfect impact. Or on my website, I have people sending in videos and following my learning program, which goes step by step through the process, where we're really first starting to learn in a really short swing, a short motion, how to create this perfect flat spot, how to create the lack of rotation at impact, the straight path, the center contact, and more speed, simply because we're learning to move properly. We're learning how to move the body in a way that produces this motion, as opposed to those who are trying to do it with their hands and arms. It just simply doesn't work. So once we're in this setup position and we get set up, and it's a very relaxed position. A lot of people at first think the arms have to be stiff. They do not. And you don't have to put a whole lot of rules on how to make this swing. It's really as simple as turning back so the club moves back on one single plane and it moves through on the same single plane. So it's really as easy as back and through. That's really the easiest swing in golf. You'll never find an easier way to hit the ball, simply because all that's required, back and through, I'm already set up, versus the conventional swing that most of you are using. You're set up here, and the problem is the club's going to lengthen as you're turning, and then you have to somehow square the club face. So really, once I get set up, it's just turn back, turn through. It's that easy to hit perfect golf shots. So the way I put my hands on the club and the grip is all customizable to fit each individual golfer. I'm absolutely certain that copying exactly the swing of any other golfer is ridiculous. It will never work. It's never worked for anyone. It's really critical that you learn to move properly so that you can begin creating perfect impact parameters. If you try to copy another person, that means learning exactly to hold the club as they did, learning to move like they did, which can take, in my estimation, 3 to 5 years. And there's no guarantee that you're going to be better than you were before. Whereas in this system, all we're doing is learning how to set up and then how to customize the concept to fit you so that you can improve starting today. So members of my website can send in videos for my review. I found this is really a critical element in improving your game, that you get some feedback so that you make sure you're doing the drills properly. Feedback is really most important, and again, is really to turn back, turn through, learning to control where we hit the ground, so we hit the ground in the right spot, starting at the ball and beyond. Most people can't do that. I see it in every school I teach. I use one of the divot boards, and you'll see people have really a difficult time controlling the low spot in the swing and getting that long, shallow, straight, flat spot where the club face is square. So that's also very helpful. Again, so visit setupforimpact.com if you want more information. Click like if you like this video. And again, subscribe to my channel. Any comments or questions, please pop them in the box below. I respond to all reasonable questions and comments. Thanks for watching, and I hope you have a great day.